Peace, y'all. It's your boy, Sincere Seven, coming to you live and direct from the Psychonaut Academy in Detroit, the Florida edition. Oh my goodness, yo, listen, y'all. For real, y'all. I'm coming. Yeah, I mean, with this video, like, I woke up this morning feeling great, feeling grand, feeling brand new, feeling magical, right? And I had some great conversations, you know what I'm saying, recorded some testimonials, doing my thing, you know what I'm saying, enjoying, you know, my community and the environment and talking to my neighbors. It's been a beautiful fucking morning. And then I got on a phone call with somebody, and you know how you accidentally get into one of those conversations that you know you ain't got no business in. Like, I know this conversation is going to trigger me, right? Trigger emotions. Somehow I still fall into it. And I fell into it. And I'm in the conversation. And I'm feeling triggered. And I'm feeling heated. But we keeping it respectful. This is the beauty of it. There's nothing wrong with having those challenging conversations. They're the most powerful ones. It's about how you respond to it. So I'm keeping my composure. I'm keeping, containing my emotions. And then it came to an abrupt end. Hey, listen, I got it. All right. And so, like, then I'm like sitting there and I'm thinking, oh, that's fucked up. It's like, flip it to like making love. Like, you just get all in it and you're just going back and forth and you're kissing and you're grinding, you're getting all into it. And then the person goes, wait, I gotta go. And then just gets up and walks out like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with all this energy, right? So this morning, I was saying, like, I wanted to go live. I wanted to talk to my peoples. I wanted to tap in, tune in. And I was like, I ain't really got no subject at hand that I feel like we can discuss, we can talk about. So I went on one morning to doing my morning things. And then that conversation happened. I got off the phone and I was just kind of sitting there like tense, just all the energy and all of the emotion and all of that was drawn up in the midst of this conversation that I'm thinking we're about to have, and all of this can be expressed, and I can get to the end and be relieved from the venting, from the release, from, right? And that didn't happen. It didn't go all the way through. It didn't give me the opportunity to indulge in it and find comfort in it and release. No, it came to an abrupt end, and not like, oh, fuck you, woo-woo, but like, oh, I gotta go, I'm gonna hit you back, we'll finish this later. And it was like, ugh. And so when I got off, I was sitting here and I'm like, wow, this is very interesting how, as I said, the comparison to a heated argument or a heated debate or a fearful or a angry or a frustrating or any of these that are drawn up. See, what makes rain, hail, snow, and what? Let's just go with that. What makes rain, hail, snow? We ain't gonna deal with earthquakes, but the sun and the moon have attractive powers on this planet, and as it makes its rotation, the sun and the moon draws this water up in a fine mist that the naked eye can hardly detect, because the planet is 70% covered in water, right? So as it's bringing this water up, and this water increases with other mists that were drawn up until they get heavier than gravitation, and they distill back into our planet in the forms of drops of water or drops of ice or a small fluffy form called snow. That science of what makes rain, snow, and hail is the same formulation for what brings about what we would call stressors, right? Because there's positive stressors and negative stressors. So when I use that word, it doesn't mean negative. It means something very, very intense, a stressor, right? Um, so when those things are brought up and you don't have the opportunity to indulge yourself, find comfort, and release within that, what do you do? How do you transmute this anger, this pain, this frustration, how do you transmute that into usable, functional energy? Hmm? What do you do with that? Right? So I had to think through that. I found myself really triggered and what I would call high up in the energy, right? Because the mists of water that is evaporated from the planet into the Earth's rotation, it's high. That's what clouds are. To be clear, that's what the clouds. They're high up there. So that's where your emotions at. They're heightened until they become heavier than gravitation and they distill back to our planet. So what that means is like you have these thoughts, you have this energy, you have this emotion that's been drawn up and it's mixing with other emotions and other thoughts and other advice and other things you've heard, and they become heavy and then they distill back. For me, that distillation process is the most important because my emotions and feelings can come to whatever height that they want to come to. That's okay. It's also not the place for me to make a decision. When they are at that height, I allow them to mix with other thoughts, emotions, and other advice and whatever until they become heavier and they distill back down to the planet. So raining is kind of like when all of those thoughts and all of those emotions have got to a certain point, and now you are doing a mental survey, a mental checklist. Now I can see, well, how do I feel about this? What are my emotions behind this? What are my thoughts behind this? How should I respond to this? A lot of us, our emotions get like this, and we thunder and lightning, and there starts to be a response before there's even been distillation. There started to be responses giving off, even though those thoughts and emotions haven't came to their fullest height and combined with the other thoughts and factors that are important to bring about the distillation. I like walking around the lake outside of my apartment, and I was telling somebody the other day that I love the differences of when to walk around the lake. When I walk in the morning time, the wildlife, the lizards, the birds, everything is doing something different. When I walk in the afternoon, there's a certain calmness. It's like almost nothing is doing anything. Then when I walk in the dusk, there's like a returning of, and the wildlife is doing the opposite of what they was doing in the morning. And then at night, there's a whole different wildlife. And then when it rains, there is a presence that was not once even acknowledged in all of those days and nights. That's when the toads and the frogs come out real heavy. You walk around and all the concrete is wet and the grass is wet and it's just rain. Frogs and toads are everywhere. I was here for months and never seen no frogs or toads. And then it rained and I seen 10, 14 on one walk. Same thing when we go through these emotional and these heightening experiences and conversations. There are things that are now, once the distillation process is taking place, that are going to reveal themselves that you weren't even aware that these thoughts and feelings were even in this environment. But now you're very aware of that. See, after the rain brings a total different understanding, a different thought process, a different emotion, right? So it's very important for us to be able to see these things. That's why I use these types of analogies, because it'd be like, damn, like I can see it in real life, in real time, as opposed to being in the meat. Yo, Oswan09, peace. Kaylon, peace. Brandy Lee, peace. Hey, y'all tapping in. I love it. I love it. If y'all sharing, watching this, share the video, please. Y'all forgot to say that. But I feel it's very important to be able to see and witness these emotions in real life situations, times, and that's why I use these analogies, because it's like when you can back out of your own self and, oh, hell yeah, I'm about to respond because the motherfucker said, and I feel like, and it's like, it's thundering and lightning, and you got people running in the house, and the thunder and lightning really is going that way. Wait until you start to get the distillation, the rain, the water returning. The water is the thoughts. The water is the emotions. The water is your feelings, and they are being brought up in the midst of, but then they have to also return back down. And in that return, that is where it's safe to respond. That is where it's safe to give your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions. If you start thundering and lightning while all of this is while it's evaporating, while the sense of evaporation is premature, and there's going to be a lot of fear and emotions that think about thunder and lightning. Think about being at the beach and all of a sudden it just gets dark and it starts thundering and lightning real heavy. What's probably going to happen? Probably the majority of the people on that beach are about to run, go get in their car and get the on out of there. And then, about 15 minutes pass by and the wind blows and the thunder and the lightning goes that way. And then the sun comes back out and everybody's like, that's why I ain't run. I wasn't going nowhere. But the 70% of people who already left, they're driving home and they like, oh man, wait, fuck it, we in the car now, just going home, right? Think about that when it comes to being in emotional conversations or arguments or discussions. They can be challenging and we can go through them, but watch the thunder and lightning and watch the responses and wait for the distillation. Wait for the distillation. So anger is pain being expressed. I'm gonna pause for a second, just let you. Anger is pain, internal feeling of hurt, anguish, this and that, being expressed. Why would you do that shit? Fuck you. Leave it alone. Ow. Like, ow. Ow. That's anger. Like, ow, motherfucker, off my toe. That was pain of my toe because you are heavy and it hurts being expressed. Anger is pain being expressed. A lot of us have the wrong idea of anger, the wrong visual aspect of anger, the wrong thought process around anger. Take some time. Anger is pain being expressed. Is that the only way to express pain? Nope. Is it seem to be the most efficient? Yes. It comes out with the energy that you are feeling. But the energy that you are feeling is being transmuted and coming out as what we call anger. But look at anybody who's angry. What's the root of it? Somewhere they're hurt by something. They're hurt. They have been hurt. They are hurt. They are expressing that. And when it's in you, that hurt, by the time you're ready to express it, it has created an explosive energy. It's like steam. If y'all ever used a pressure cooker, it's built up. These emotions, these feelings, these thoughts, all of this shit. Like, what the fool, right? And the longer that pain has been held in, then usually the more availability of power through the expression. So when I use my pressure cooker, if it's at like a pound per square inch of pressure in there, I can open that pot up and then a little steam will come out. You'd be all right? If it's 15 pounds per square inch of pressure in that pressure cooker, and I turn that lid, it will blow my body in half. When that lid pops up and that steam comes out, it'll probably cut halfway into my body. It's going to cause the entire kitchen to explode. See? So that's what I'm saying is when you hold things in and they build up And this is why it's important. Why am I speaking on this? Because we're talking about being caught in the middle of this energy, being caught in the middle of anger, frustration, pain, fear, and then being cut off, right? Having the conversation or whatever's going on, it's like right in the middle of it. It's like it just stops. And you have this built up within you. What do you do with it? How do you express it? So this is why I'm speaking on this about the pressure of holding these things, because when you feel these things, when you witness them, when they're there, it's best to go ahead and release that immediately. This is why even prompting to make the video, literally, when I started this video, I was probably no less than 2 minutes out of the container that I was in of this building of this fucking energy that was abruptly cut in half. I knew if I don't transmute and release this now, I'm gonna hold it. And if I hold it, I'm gonna keep thinking about it. I'm gonna keep being more offended and more angry and more upset. And then when the conversation does take place, oh my God. And we are supposed to avoid that, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, I gotta transmute this shit immediately. And I was like, yo, what do you do? What do I do? And that's what made me spark it. Like, what do you do? And y'all know what I do? I vent. Me personally, Sincere 7, I'm not saying this right for everybody. Find what it is that you do. I vent. I talk. I get it off my chest. That's why I be having all these damn videos. Yes, sir. Thus becoming toxic from within. Ooh, ooh. Oh, Swan oh 09, hold on. Let me sit on that for a minute. Does that make you toxic? I'm going to disagree with that one. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. I like where you went, but I don't think toxic would be the right word. And the reason for that, you have deficiencies and you have toxicities. And they're the lack of or way too much of a certain something that should be balanced. So when you say becoming toxic from within, I would say more becoming pressurized, because there's nothing that is lacking or overabundant within me character-wise. This is an energy or an emotion that I'm finding within my solar plexus for me in my stomach, right? And that energy kind of builds. So it's not so much as toxicity, it's more of, like I said, about the pressure cooker. If withheld, I mean, kept bottled inside though. I still see, because you're not. Those things are like, emotions aren't toxic; they're just powerful. If that makes sense. Now your thoughts can be toxic, right? So if I'm sitting here and I'm thinking fucked up things, then this can become toxic. But if I'm feeling what to me in my functionality is fucked up, it's not so much toxic, it's just a response from, right? When you heat water, it creates steam. Steam isn't toxic, it's just um, another form of something in another existence. So for instance, when I'm having a conversation and we're flowing, I'm using the same emotions. There's nothing toxic about them. They're flowing in the conversation. If I was scared to have the conversation, they'd be frozen within me. But when I'm not having the ability to have the conversation to let this shit flow, it's changing into steam and it's creating a pressure. So steam is not toxic, but it is dangerous because of the pressure. And when the pressure is released, the releasing of that pressure can be in a way that is safe, like the nozzle on top of my pressure cooker, where I can just lift off the rocker and let the steam go out, or it can be unsafe, where I just open that shit up and it exploded on contact. So I like what you said, and I know what you meant. I also have been known to be very, very, very big on words. So I'm like totally appreciative. And it wasn't like, oh, you're wrong. It was just kind of like, I see exactly what you mean. I'm a scientist. So when we're dealing with science, the word toxic and the word pressurized, it's like I can see though both of them being dangerous, but one is one, one's the other, and so I'm just kind of a big stickler on. So a lot of people are like, he's such an asshole when it comes to word. You know what I meant? I did know what you meant. I did. I promise you, I knew what you meant. But I just feel like there's nothing wrong with really diving in and really being able to separate two things, like even a little, like you're saying, these things is dangerous. That's what we're both saying. It's dangerous. But is it dangerous because of the pressure or because of the toxicity to it? And that's where I was like, ooh, because I deal with sacred animal venoms. So I'm like, toxins is my specialty. And so that's why when you said it, it was like, huh. And I had to look at it. I had to sit on it. And I just felt like it was only right to respond, because we all know that all of these cushion coffees, all of these talks, these are rooted in philosophy. We are philosophers. This is what we're doing right now, is we're philosophizing. Yeah, I'm feeling all your officizes. Anyway, I'm loving this, y'all. If y'all loving it, press 1 in there. But just keeping these things in mind, I just wanted to talk about all of these aspects, like, so that we can utilize these mindsets when we're going into these conversations, just like the tools that have been presented. Shout out to the Condor coaches and Tom Cole, like with what they present in the psychedelic informed coaching containers, where we're speaking about the oppression trap triangle, where a conversation goes on and you'll be like, so what you saying? I'm this or I'm that. And it's like some people victimize themselves. Like, that's not what they're saying. You are seeing what they're saying and seeing it as, this is belittling to me. And so now I feel like a victim and you're attacking me, right? These are the energies that we can find ourselves falling into, right? So that oppression trap triangle of the victim and the villain and the victor, this is something very, very important to be aware of when having challenging conversations that you don't find yourself in the midst of or place yourself within, right? Just like when we're dealing with challenging conversations, a lot of people have those responses, what do they call the parasympathetic responses to stress, where you the fight or freeze or flight or fawn. Fight, flight, freeze, fawn. Fight, fight, flight, freeze, fawn. Fight. It's like somebody say something, oh, fuck you, I ain't, whoa. We was having a discussion. Where's this? This is that fight factor. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the flight. Whatever, I don't even care, man. I don't even, no. I know it's a challenging conversation. Stop running away from it. It's okay. Okay? It's going to be challenging. I have my views, you have yours. You don't have to run away from it, though. It's okay. We're going to respect each other. We're going to see where we can get to. Then you have the freeze. Like, and I hate the freeze. It's just like, what? That's how I feel. How you feel? I don't know. Oh, here we go, right? And then you have the fawn. The fawn. Oh my goodness. Which is I'm gonna tell you, I knew about fight, flight, freeze for years. And it wasn't until I got into the Condor coaching container that I learned about fawn. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Peace and good morning. How y'all doing? I was like, this is interesting, right? And then I'm like, let me lean into this, see what this is about. And they explained the fawning to be like where you basically aim to please. You want to please. You want to just make this person happy. You just want to make them satisfied. You just want to make, like, this is how you avoid stress. Like, and I'm like, oh shit, okay. And I really started to understand that. And as I leaned into it more and I studied more and I went into these containers talking about these things and the emotions and the traumas and dramas, and I'm like, yo, you know what I realized is that the fawn is the most dangerous of all. They're the most dangerous of all. Of all of the parasympathetic responses to stress in those four, F's, fight, flight, fawn, freeze. The fawning is the most dangerous because it teaches you to or the response, it causes you to want to please the individual that is bringing the stress to you. So if this is not, let's just say, take it out of the argument and let's take it and put it into a violation. certain people, as you try to violate them, they're gonna fight your ass. It's certain ones who they're gonna freeze. I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, what the fuck is going on? Then you have some who fly. They'll run away. They get the fuck up, get the fuck on, get away. I don't want to go over there no more. No, whatever, right? But then you have the fawn. That's fucking horrible when it comes to a stress that is not supposed to be something to be dealt with, like a violation or because now you are requesting or making comfort in the individual that's bringing this towards you. And it was like, damn, it's like I had to like think about that and really, dive into dissecting this fawn. So when I am speaking to people that we have, because I myself was naturally a fawn, and through the nurture of my father in the military became a fighter. So I'm gonna do one of the two things. I'm either gonna fight or I'm gonna fawn, right? So I myself was familiar with this energy. And it's something that now when I'm having my talks with my clients and we have this discussion and they, because I feel like it's important for everybody to figure out, because everybody has one of these that they lean towards, you know what I'm saying? Period. Like everybody. Even if you are at a point where you've been through enough growth and development where you can have challenging conversations, you can do this, you can go into these containers, you still have one of these parasympathetic responses that are rooted within you, that this is the one that you usually fall to. This is your default response when your intelligence and wisdom fails. Okay? So with that being said, I had to realize that and be able to discuss this with the clients, because when you in the fawn type of response, you are laying the track and the foundation for continuing whatever it is that you really want to avoid. You know what I'm saying? This is how you'll find yourself in relationships that you didn't even mean to be in. You'll find yourself in meetings or in collaborations. It's not just your mates that you do these things with or your parents. This is how you respond to society. Oh shit. So a lot of y'all are running from things, including blessings. You're running from situations because remember, stress is not just negative. Stress is uh, um, powerful, right? So there's good stresses and there's what you might call negative stressors. But if you are naturally, your parasympathetic responses are on default, and anytime a intense situation comes to play, I get the fuck out of here. That means when somebody might be on stage speaking highly of you, and you're like, oh, let me go to the bathroom, right? Or let me get out of this room. It could have been leading to something such as a promotion or a giving, or in the response that you gave might have given the person a wrong example of how you felt about it, right? Um, what about that fight? Oh man, what about that fight? There's a lot of people where there's certain things that are brought up or that are said, and immediately people go into a fight. And if they would have actually allowed what was being said to continue, it was one of those, whoop, whoop, whoop. And I know that this is this and this is that, but this person always and was going somewhere higher. And as soon as they started with the, one thing that I could say about is that woo, woo, woo. And, well, so what, motherfucker? Wait, hold on, let me finish. Like, boom, automatically that fight factor, right? Um, where people are presenting you with the idea of what's been going on or what has been taking place, but what they would like to see. And they start off with the what has been, like you're sitting in there with your boss or your supervisor. And they start off with the, well, I've seen that over the past few weeks, you've been late, you've been this, you've been that. And you respond in a, okay, you're getting frustrated, this is getting stressful, you think it's about to go somewhere, and you start, rah, rah, rah. Well, shit, I mean, I get it. Woo, woo, woo. It's like, wait, no, like, right? And they might not even go, wait, no, like, oh, what? Go ahead, tell me how you really feel, right? So this is that fight, right? So the people who have the freeze factor, they're like pretty much 50-50. Because if a negative is going somewhere negative and they froze, it's like, oh shit, now the negativity is upon them. And now it's like, oh shit, like what the fuck I do. But if it's some positivity or a positive stressor and they freeze and then the shit is going, and then once it gets to the point of, oh, this is something positive, then they can unfreeze and be like, oh wow, okay, oh, you know what I'm saying? But the fawn, whatever's going on, let me make you happy. Let me make you comfortable. Let me make you feel good about the situation. Let me make you feel better. Let me make you, right? That could be very, very, very dangerous, right? And when it comes into positive stressors, it can almost give a reverse type of energy, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, um, it's somebody trying to present, somebody trying to give, somebody trying to uh, administer, and you are kind of like, what's going on here? Like, no, let me do for you. And it's like, wait, what? Like, I'm trying to, and it sets a um, misunderstanding, right? So all of these different types of things, man, just are things to keep in mind when dealing with challenging conversations, and when left in the midst or in the middle of challenging conversations and abruptly cut off. How do you transmute that energy? How do like don't go cut somebody else out or go start an argument with somebody else, right? No. Find a healthy transmutationary release, because you got to get it out. How? I've heard people say they paint. I've heard people say they draw. Me, I vent or I listen to music. So I'm either letting something out or I'm taking something in that can neutralize what I'm feeling. I'm feeling betrayed and anger and pain. I'll listen to music that speaks of acceptance and love and dedication, and that speak to me. That music, like for me, music is the only man-made medicine that I enjoy. Music. That's for me. It's like, okay, and I put something on and it start playing. I'm good. And if not, then I'm gonna get on live and I'm gonna start talking shit, and I'm gonna let y'all just come and listen to me talk shit about what I'm mad about, what I'm angry about. This is bullshit. I'm frustrated because y'all motherfuckers, and why people be and once I get it all out, by the time I get to the end of the video, I'm like I am now, feeling good. I'm back in the state that I was in previous to the conversation that I had that took me to what made me start this video. And that's what I mean about venting. That's me for a healthy release. I try to take whatever it is that I'm feeling. If I feel anger within me, that means there's some pain within me that I want to get out. So for me, I will look at what it is causing me pain. I don't think that that's right. I don't think it should be there. I don't think this should be going on. And I'll speak about that. That's why you've heard me do a lot of lives about women using men's children as tools or pawns or ways to hurt them, because it's found it being the main thing that I was ever upset about. That was usually the only, until I started coming to relationship issues going into the separation from my last mate. Of course, that became a speaking issue of how women operate and how certain women think and how certain women move, and just speaking about how I see these different things, and is this right, is this wrong, what do y'all think, right? These conversations, that's that sense of village, because no man is an island of themselves, right? So having this village, this community of people that I can talk back and forth and share these things with and find comfort in, that's my release. What's yours? Somebody tell me their release, their form of transmutating of perpetual energy into a usable or functional energy for self. What is yours, right? If you was in the middle of a very, very intense conversation, and then someone's like, I got another call, I got some other line, I'm gonna call you back, we'll finish this shit later, fuck it, all right, we'll finish it later, and just hangs up, and you're just all built up like, oh, what do you do? What do you do? How do you express it? Do you get it out? Do you transmute it into something with less pressure and save it for later? Do you transmute it into a releasable right now while it's pressurized? Do you ignore it? Do you find somebody else and release that pressure real heavy with them? I've been known to do that too, but if you do that, you got to ask the person if they have room for that. Yo, I'm frustrated. I'm angry. Can I just, fucking release this shit? You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, do you have room for that? Asking, what am I making this mean? I'm gonna tell y'all, when Brandy Lee get to dropping shit, y'all definitely want to lean into it, y'all. Because, like, she's very, very introspective and she knows how to ask the right questions. So she's saying when she finds herself in these environments, in these situations, she'll ask, what am I making this mean? Before I even ask myself the full question about the conversation that brought me heated and cut me off in the middle, that brought me into this video, I had the answer. And the answer was, I placed myself in the oppression trap triangle. In the conversation, I placed myself in the oppression trap triangle based off what the person was saying, and it made me angry. And then the conversation came to an abrupt end, and I was stuck being the victim and feeling used, abused, unacknowledged, and mistreated on purpose. Yep. And that's what I made it mean. So in all actuality, the person that I was talking to probably sees none of that, feels none of that, or was exhibiting any of that. But in the conversation and in what was being said, that was exactly, because remember, in conversations, y'all, these is what's going on. You're sharing thoughts back and forth. Somebody says something that they think. Somebody says, you say something you think. Somebody says something they think. You say something you think. Keep in mind, even though you said something that you think, there are other contributing factors to that person might not immediately understand. So when you say that this is how you thought, and they go, what the fuck? Like, that's how you feel about me? Because oh, no, I didn't mean like that. I mean this aspect. Oh, okay, I can see that, right? Now, if that's how the fuck you feel about, oh, hold on, I got another call, I gotta go. Like, there you go. You got to sit with that. That's how the fuck they feel about you. That's how you put yourself in the oppression trap triangle. That even the question, that's how you feel about me? I'm saying, so are you saying that I am? No, they didn't say that. I said it. I placed myself in the oppression trap triangle. Once I got there, I did not like what was being said, and it created an intense energy, and I chose to fight. What, man? Fuck you. You listen. No, that's some. Hey, negativity. And that was it. That's what I made. That's what I made it mean. Now you see why she said that? Like, I could have did that in the beginning, and I wouldn't even had to make this video. But fuck it, because the content's great, and the experience. It's like these are where the wrinkles in your brain come from. Like, yeah, you said it, I get it, and I could have got that in the beginning and never went through the experience, never did this video, and never got the wrinkle in my brain. But those wrinkles in the brain, you want those. You want those experiences because they solidify. I have something I can go back to. I have an emotion surrounding an experience that I actually had that creates the ability for me to see this thought process in a living situation as opposed to just having the knowledge and wisdom. Excuse me, having the knowledge with no wisdom. The experiences is wisdom. So an old man can give you some knowledge. Hey man, never step on a turtle's back. All right. And you'll go on in life and you'll never step on a turtle's back. Okay, you have that knowledge. Do you have the wisdom and understanding of why not to step on a turtle's back? No. You have the knowledge to not do it, but you don't have wisdom of the experience and you don't have the understanding of why not. But one day you're out there and you see a turtle and you're like, why did he tell me never step on the turtles? And you go to step on a turtle back and it's a snapping turtle, he bite the shit out of you. And the understanding of just because it's a turtle and his head and arms are inside don't mean it can't protect itself from above things, right? And it's like, damn, I get what the old man was trying to say. And it's like, yo, that turtle bit the shit out of me. And like, so now I'm like getting like, because how did I not think that that turtle could have bit me, right? It's like the whole wisdom and understanding behind the analogy you now have. You have a wrinkle in your brain. You have the experience, as opposed to just being able to tell another youth, "Hey, man, don't ever step on a turtle's back." And then the youth turn to you and say, "Why not?" And you go, "I'm not sure, but you know, a wise man told me that once, so I have that knowledge, and I want to give you the knowledge." You don't have wisdom. That's why they say a lot of wise people come from dumb youths or ignorant childhoods and whatnot. It's like wisdom is the experience of that brings about understanding. I'm a wise man in a lot of different areas because I was ignorant as hell, and I went and I created a lot of wrinkles on my brain. Right? So the experiences, right? So some of us learn from other people. Oh, you might have seen somebody else try to step on a turtle's back and get bit or fall or whatever it is that you're not supposed to step on the turtle's back, right? From that point, you have an understanding and you have wisdom. You didn't even have to go through it yourself, but you was able to glean that off another person's experience. You have the knowledge. Now you're seeing it, right? You was told don't wear this type of things because you'll not be respected. And so you didn't. And you went through high school dressing modestly. You have friends that don't. And y'all go out, y'all hanging out one day, and this guy walks up and says the most outrageous shit to her that nobody's ever said to you. And you're just like, oh, wow, my father was right. People do respond to you based off of the way that you present yourself. Wow, maybe I should stop arguing with guys on social media about that shit. And speaking about freedom of expression, right? No, you're both right. My bad. You're both right. But there's a certain amount of knowledge and wisdom that has been applied, you know, to to receive the understanding, right? So anyway, we just going past into things now. I'm just building on different things that are coming to mind that have nothing to do with what I was talking about. So with that being said, I appreciate you all, and I leave y'all with, as always, tell somebody you love them in the language that they can understand it in. Peace.